I thank you for giving me the opportunity to communicate to you in this unusual manner. But this has been a tremendously difficult and challenging week at Bethel. And yet I want you to hear directly from us what has happened on the Bethel campus. September 11th, 2001 began as a beautiful, bright, clear, sunny day. A day of great anticipation at Bethel because we were planning the Royal Investors Dinner for that evening. That dinner is a time when we gather our friends together and we give reports and we update about the way in which God's working on the campus. And we were looking forward to having many of you come and to join us. It was a calm morning, and we had no idea how soon horrific events would rip the fabric of the country and wound us all so deeply. As the mind-numbing events of that day began to sink in, we realized that we couldn't continue with our plans for the Royal Investors Dinner. And we sent out word to as many of you as we could reach, telling you that the dinner was canceled, but that we extended an invitation to you to come and join the members of the campus in a service of prayer and memorial in the Great Hall that evening. And many of you did come, and I'm very grateful that you joined us as once again we turned to the Scriptures and sought to comfort ourselves with the reassurances of God's strong purposes and sure promises. Take a look at the remainder of this video and you will see again and again the Christian worldview being formed, the faculty mentors helping shape students and energize them to serve Christ. And you'll see those friendships that are life transforming, that are so important for our students. Watch with me, please.
God is creating a beautiful tapestry at Bethel College and Seminary, and He is using many threads and many people to change lives and create what Steve Garber calls a fabric of faithfulness. At Bethel, the Lord has called competent people to teach.
That's the one thing I've learned really from Bethel is that, it's okay to be Christian, to be, who you are in the Lord, and that people may look at you and they may ask questions, but that's all right.
Bethel professors taught from bibliocentric perspectives. I was overwhelmed by some professors at the profundity of their commitment to understand and analyze their discipline from a bibliocentric perspective.
And Bethel provides so many different outlets to grow, whether it's reaching out into the community, into the world, with different weekly Bible studies. They have worship services, chapel 3 times a week. All those different outlets to plug into have been very helpful in molding me and shaping me as, who I am as a Christian.
my life is so much different from when I was a freshman in college. I've been sharpened, I've been taught to be a leader.
Professors, students, everyone is interacting, sharing ideas, becoming excited about what is true and what is right, and we keep working on that, and that is something that is so beautiful.
At Bethel, the Lord has called caring people to encourage.
The amount of support that I've received at this college has been amazing. From the director of admissions to the janitors to whoever you can possibly imagine, they are always encouraging you, always giving you a smile, always saying they're going to pray for you.
There are tons of people here to help you out. Spiritually, it's just been incredible with chapel, with Vespers, with riot leaders. It's just an amazing time. You really encounter God here, and the professors are just incredible.
There were many times where I thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. This is too much. And there was always somebody to pick me up.
Bethel, in one very real sense, was water on desert soil for me from a spiritual standpoint.
At Bethel, the Lord has called creative people to challenge and equip.
A lot of people are concerned about career. I'm concerned, but not, that's not my goal in my life is not to have a great career. I think my goal in my life is to serve the Lord, and I think that's something that Bethel encourages.
As I came into Bethel, as I transferred here, I was walking with God and I had all that. But what Bethel has done gave me a lot of background, a lot of foundation for my faith.
The Bethel experience for me was very much the experience of going and learning in class, but also doing at the same time.
I feel that Bethel has given me that vision. It's given me the vision of looking at things more theologically, of all aspects of my life.
Bethel Seminary of the East helped me greatly in terms of direction and focus and vision.
At Bethel, the Lord has called compassionate people to uplift.
To me on Sunday or Monday morning when I go back to my job. And so I felt we were constantly bringing whatever theological concepts that we were learning in the books in the classroom into the everyday.
The time at Bethel was more just nurturing, beginning to stretch my wings of independence, yet with a foundation of care and nurture.
Like, I try to imagine what my life would be like if I were at a different school or something, and I can't even picture it because I think Bethel has really helped me grow.
I never will stop learning because of what I've learned at Bethel, because of the joy in learning that I've found.
Being able to go to Bethel College and Bethel Seminary has seriously changed my life.
At Bethel, the Lord has called people of character to model the love of Christ.
Deb Harless, who was kind of a mentor to me throughout my 4 years of college. Whenever something kind of brought me down, I would always go and talk with her, and we'd have coffee or whatnot, and she would really just encourage me and just pray with me and just bring me back to focus.
Don Graffin. I mean, I haven't spent that much time with Don. I've been working with him on Welcome Week stuff. He's a real person. Not only is he a real person, but he leads by his example.
Through chapels and Vespers and just one-on-one times with people and different things like that, I've seen God in so many people and in so many experiences that I would have never seen before if I hadn't been here.
The profound commitment to Christ evidenced by faculty and other students and administration, and the day-to-day connect with that brought together was very significant for me.
And here at Bethel, students here want to share Christ with the world.
At Bethel, the Lord has called committed people to give of themselves.
I don't know where I'd be without Bethel. I mean, as far as going to like a state school is probably where I'd ended up, and I think just for them to see that a life has changed because of them.
Bethel is so much more than academics. It's a place where we all come and we come here to be prepared for life as Christians out in the world, and it's a great place for preparing for life.
I want to thank everybody who's made it possible for Bethel to keep going. It has truly changed my life, and now many other people are being impacted just through my ministry and through the ministry of all these other people.
My experience is biased since I'm a Bethel alum, but I can't think of a finer institution that's doing a better job of preparing students to become effective for Christ, to become contributors in their profession and their business activity and their assignments, and as leaders of families, and to provide the witness, the salt and the light out into the community.
I can just say thank you, and I hope that, I know in eternity you will see the fruit of your gifts and your love. I hope that on this side of eternity you can see that to some degree and know that it's a gift that is bearing much fruit in many contexts around the world.
At Bethel, God has called a company of committed people, faculty, staff, and people like you to help change lives and weave a fabric of faithfulness that will endure forever.
Before we bring this video report to a close, there are two more Bethel graduates whom I would like you to meet. First, I'd like to introduce you to Colin Barr. Colin is a 1984 graduate of Bethel and currently serves as the vice president of the Ryan Companies, Minnesota's second largest construction firm. Colin is somebody whom I would like you to meet because I believe he has all three of the characteristics that Steve Garber talks about in the fabric of faithfulness. Colin, we've celebrated with you when you received the 40 Under 40 award this year. That's an outstanding honor. It goes to people who have been leaders in the business community, leaders with great integrity and great vision. Tell us what you've been doing in your position at the Ryan Companies.
We're a national scale design, build, development, and general contracting company. My time is spent roughly half in the area of corporate office development, developing large corporate facilities like the headquarters for Target Corporation in downtown Minneapolis, and the other half in hospitality world doing 4- or 5-star hotels.
Steve Garber says that for graduates to be able to go out into the world and make a sustained difference for Jesus Christ, they need to have formed in college friendships with like-minded believers in Christ who care passionately about making a difference for Him, regardless of their profession. I know from talking with you that you have a friend just like that. Someone who was a classmate of yours at Bethel, but who is part of the fabric of your character and your vision for representing Christ in the community. Would you introduce that friend?
George, I'd be happy to. Just thinking about it makes me chuckle. You'll remember some of our antics back in our college days, the two of us, but we won't go into that. We both met here on the gridiron, the football field, in our first year, freshman year at Bethel, but have uncannily unique and parallel stories. We both grew up in Denver, Colorado, both loved to fly, fish, and recreate in the mountains. Came to Bethel here, played football, were business majors, established that illustrious, I think it was 275 or 285 GPA, just barely made it through. Met blue-eyed, blonde-haired Norwegians. We ended up getting married, staying in Minnesota, though we both swore we'd move back to God's country. We stayed here. We had 3 children each and established careers in commercial real estate. Probably the more important thing I would say is just the initial foundation that we established at Bethel and our relationship together in Christ. And in more recent years, I'd say it's moving through our spiritual journeys in adulthood, being in a group of 4 men who meet every 2 weeks, pray and support each other, and just deal with the ups and downs of life as husbands, as fathers, as businessmen. There's lots more I could tell you, but I really want you to hear from John. He has a lot of unique qualities that I'm sure will become apparent to you. I'll introduce you to John Griffith.
John, tell us something about your life.
I work for Target Corporation. My job here, I'm a Senior Vice President of Property Development. Within the group that I'm responsible for, it's about 3,500 people. Our annual capital expenditure budget is about almost $5 billion this year. It is a very broad responsibility dealing with a variety of different things. People have always sensed in me that I'm speaking truth, that they can rely on and trust me. I have learned to guard and cherish that just handsomely. And Bethel was a place where that was encouraged. You know, it was a place where from everything from the lifestyle statement to you know, the amount of rope, if you will, that was given you by your professors to study on your own and accomplish things. I really don't look at my experience at Target as an ongoing career as much as I do as saying that this is the place that God's called me to work. And I'll look for those opportunities to do the best job I can for Him in furthering His ministry. A big part of that is doing for my boss and for this corporation a good job at what I do. Ever present in that will be a mindful eye of looking for God's work and doing it.
How did God use Bethel to shape you?
I think God really spoke to me about you know, what does it take to kind of become a man of God and mature into the person that He really wanted me to be. I had one of the best teachers I've ever been associated with, or sat under, I should say, in Professor Airasmith. He was a person who not only knew his material incredibly well, not only was he very, very bright, but he had the gift of teaching because he was a great teacher and he took the time and he was very, very good. He knew his stuff. Al Glenn knew his stuff. John Stein knows his stuff. And they have left memories that I will carry with me all my life. God brought me so far away from home to Bethel College, and that I met my wife there. She's a work of God in my life every day, and I love her dearly. She also you know, came to Bethel, getting her education degree, and now she's at home with our 3 kids, David, Christina, and Caroline.
John, why would you say that it's important to support God's work at Bethel College and Seminary?
As you drove on this campus this evening, you saw gigantic buildings, you saw, you've probably seen wonderful presentations here tonight. And if you're not careful, I think that there could be a tendency for you to say, Bethel really doesn't need my money. And what I would respond back to you is nothing could be further from the truth. The endowments that those schools have to fund programs, to fund recruiting efforts, to fund additional campus expansions, etc., are immense. And we do not have that. What I think that causes us to do is to absolutely, critically rely on God's direction and walk and take steps of faith, measured steps of faith, and be very understanding and very, very sharp fiscal stewards of every dollar that comes in the door. Please don't miss the opportunity to participate in what is a fantastic ministry, an unbelievable place where God is revered, people are brought to Christ, and they are left here equipped with state-of-the-art training and tools to further God's kingdom in this world. So I thank you for your gifts to continue to allow Bethel to be that lighthouse, that beacon that is a guiding force in so many young men and women's lives. I know it was one for me, and I thank you for that.
John Griffith also understands why it is so critically important that we have partners who invest with us in the ministry of Bethel College and Bethel Seminary. John knows, as a trustee, how expensive it is to provide the kind of high-quality education that students receive at Bethel. But he also knows the great rewards that come when one participates in a ministry like that of Bethel. You know, we had to cancel the dinner. We couldn't go forward with it. But at that banquet each year, we typically have raised more than $250,000 a year to use for scholarships for students and to help defray the operating expenses of Bethel College and Bethel Seminary. And the need this year is very urgent. We need to make up and catch up what we will not receive through the banquet. And so I'm coming to you directly and asking you to give generously, to give more than you perhaps had intended to give more because the need is so great, but to give more because the opportunity is so unusually powerful. I can't think of anything else that would have a more long-lasting influence for Jesus Christ in this world than supporting the ministry of Bethel College and Bethel Seminary. And so from the very depths of my heart, I ask you to be partners with us and to help us carry on this work. We need you. In the banquet box we sent you, you'll find an envelope and a card. I ask that you use those to register with us your stewardship, your investment in the ministry of Bethel College and Bethel Seminary. I thank you. I thank you for sharing these moments with us. I hope you found great excitement and satisfaction, as I do, from hearing the alumni and the students and faculty describe how God has been at work in their lives. And I hope that you will be partners with us. Now, in conclusion, God bless you and God watch over you.